Today on Time About the Movies, is this whole review that you're about to see really happening, or is it a dream? Well, there's only one way to find out. Okay, maybe this is reality, or is it? We're taking a look at Christopher Nolan's Inception. I apologize for making you have to sit through that, but we've got Inception here, the new film from Christopher Nolan, his first film after The Dark Knight, but we also have a film I'm starting to realize is very similar to Inception when you really think about it, in some ways, at least with the trailer that I have here. Disney's The Sorcerer's Apprentice, the second live-action remake from a Disney animated classic, this time starring Nicolas Cage and Jay Baruchel in the big-screen adaptation of the segment from Fantasia. So with all that said, let's get to it. July 16th, 2010, this is Time About the Movies, and yes, it is for real. Or is it?
There's one thing you should know about me. I specialize in a very specific type of security. Subconscious security.
You're talking about dreams.
Mr. Carl has a job offer he would like to discuss with you.
Like a work placement?
Not exactly.
We create the world of the dream. We bring the subject into that dream, and they fill it with their secrets.
Then you break in and steal it.
Well, it's not strictly speaking legal. It's called Inception. Already. I found a way home. And this last job, that's how I get there. Dreams feel real while we're in them. It's only when we wake up that we realize something was actually strange.
This is your responsibility. You're not prepared for this.
Have it under control. I'd hate to see out of control.
You mustn't be afraid to dream a little bigger, darling.
I mean, what more can you say after that? Welcome to Time About the Movies, and two big movies today as we look at the two films of July 16, 2010. None bigger than Christopher Nolan's long-anticipated follow-up to The Dark Knight, and that is Inception, in which we have Leonardo DiCaprio starring as Dom Cobb, a thief who enters the dreams of people to steal ideas from them. The things he's done has cost him a lot of things, most notably his children and his dead wife, played by Marion Cotillard. A man named Solito, played by Ken Watanabe, comes in and tells him he wants to put an idea inside a man named Robert Fisher, played by Cillian Murphy, and with the help of Cobb's team, including Arthur, played by Joseph Gordon-Levitt, a college student named Aridane, played by Ellen Page, an architect named Nash, played by Lucas Haas, and a forger named Eames, played by Tom Hardy. They must put the idea in his mind before it's too late. And really, that trailer kind of gives you a good sum up of what you're going to get from the movie, because the movie is fucking amazing. This is probably my third or fourth favorite movie of the year. I'd have to double check after the year is over, but yeah, this is definitely one of the highlights of the year. It's not a perfect movie, but it's a movie that works nearly 95% of the time. What about that 5%? Let's talk about the three main problems I have with the movie, and one of them is kind of with Marion Cotillard as the villain. I mean, I like her as an actress. I've seen her in some good movies, but this was just around that time when some of these movies were trying way too hard to get these people who clearly should not be playing villainous roles, and proving that they can't really make it work. There's some that can make it. There's more than a couple that can make it work. Ava Green, for example, is somebody who can make a good villainous person work. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Ava Green is somebody who could play a villainous role and make it work. Marion Cotillard is somebody that I just didn't feel like really fit the mold as the villain. I mean, they did this not once but twice in Christopher Nolan movies, because he's also kind of a villain in The Dark Knight Rises that comes out after this, and I just didn't feel like her performance in this as the antagonist really didn't work all that well. Not to say she's bad in here. She's okay, but it's just kind of like, when she has to play the villain, it just didn't work for me. To the quick character development of Ellen Page's character. I know they have to move the story along, but when they introduce her, they don't even give us a minute to really get to know the character. They just kind of throw her in there, and like we're supposed to already know who she is. I mean, this isn't like when Aaron Eckhart or, Maggie Gyllenhaal gets introduced in The Dark Knight, because they're playing characters that we know about. We don't know anything about this character per se. That scene in the trailer is literally the first time we see her. It's just like I don't want to see a long scene in particular, but you could have had it a little bit longer than that. I mean, then again, it could have been worse. They could have done it like the flower shop scene in The Room, where Tommy Wiseau goes in there. It's just like, just goes on this long, continuous dialogue tribe, and just like, nobody has any time to take a break or anything. It's just like, yeah, can I have a dozen red roses, please? Oh, hi, Johnny, I didn't know you were there. Here you go, that's me. Hi, here's the money, keep the change. Hi, doggy, you're my favorite customer. Thanks a lot, bye. Like, at least they didn't do that in particular, and the biggest problem I have with the movie is the ending. Not even for the last shot of the movie with the totem, but in the end, when everybody is waking up from all 4 or 5 different dreams. Like, some people have died, some people have decided to stay in the dream, then all of a sudden everybody's on the plane alive, and I'm wondering to myself, what the hell happened? Didn't one of those guys say if you die in Inception, you die for real? I mean, it took me time to really think about it, because that was my first time watching it the first time. But then when I went back to it, I still felt like that there was still something missing there. Like, it just didn't feel like I don't know, the way the end of the mission overall kind of was lacking in general. It's a cool looking sequence, everybody waking up through all these different forms of the dream and all that, but I just didn't feel like they really had a good motivation towards the end of how to finish that up there. But again, that's only some of the stuff I didn't like about the movie, but there is a lot I did like. The acting is great overall. I mean, Leonardo DiCaprio, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Tom Hardy, Ellen Page, Ken Watanabe, Cillian Murphy, Marion Cotillard. I mean, the standouts in here are Gordon-Levitt and Tom Hardy. I mean, this is the movie that really shows that both of them are on their way to great careers, especially Tom Hardy. Look at what he's done since then. And also Joseph Gordon-Levitt, too. I mean, you gotta love him. I mean, the guy very rarely makes a bad move on his part. Even when, he's not the worst thing about those bad things, but the story overall is a good idea. Entering somebody's dreams so they can plant an idea in there, and that's a good idea for a story. And the visuals are top-notch. These are very good visuals. I mean, this is stuff that still holds up 15 years later, and it's just like, whoa, like how, like you would think it would have gotten old by by now, but no, 15 years later, that shit still holds up big time. And yeah, it would have been interesting if they shot this in 3D, because, this was part of that big 3D trend in general. I'm actually kind of surprised we haven't gotten some real bad post-production 3D, which is probably why they didn't do it. They probably didn't do it because they were already shooting the film, and, they didn't know how good post-production 3D was going to be, so Christopher Nolan probably went, yeah, we'll steer away from that. Actually, come to think of it, I don't think he's ever done a 3D movie. I don't know if Interstellar counts as a 3D film. Maybe not. Maybe he's never done a 3D film before. Maybe that's why it's probably for the best, though. Because, like I said, post-production 3D we've seen already with a couple of movies don't really work all that well. And, yeah, that's probably the smartest move not to do that. But I do like the film overall. There are slim problems overall, but it's still a great original movie, which is very rare to get at this point during the summer season, and especially nowadays. I mean, even the original movies now this summer have not done very well, unfortunately. Seriously, go see Elio if you have not seen that already. But Christopher Nolan delivers another winner, man. I mean, this is like The Prestige. It's a movie that makes you think and gives you a good, entertaining movie with a lot of good talent all across the board. I mean, it's a really damn good movie. This is right up there with Christopher Nolan's best movies. It's easily one of the best movies of the year. And again, another movie that should have won the Best Picture and not named The King's Speech. And trust me, I'm going to keep bringing that up here because I'm sorry, The King's Speech is the worst Best Picture winner ever. But we will save that until we get to that movie's release. But in the meantime, let's take a look at the other movie we have this weekend. Disney putting out a movie that, like I said, sort of feels similar to this in terms of the first trailer alone. But it's still an interesting movie nonetheless. Let's take a look at The Sorcerer's Apprentice.
What you just did is impossible.
I have been searching all over the world for you. You are going to be a force for good and a very important sorcerer. But for now, you're my apprentice.
I'm a what?
Step inside. You leave everything else behind. Once you enter, there's no going back.
Sweet.
Let's go. There's more to learn.
Are you insane?
So that trailer gives you a little bit of the fun ideas that can be done with this movie, but this film didn't really do the best business in general. But then again, when you're opening up on the same weekend as Inception, and like I said, it's a movie that literally looks like Disney's trying to copy the movie that's going to be the big hit before it even comes out. Because, I mean, it literally looks like elements are taken from Inception and adding in a little bit of magic into it. But this is The Sorcerer's Apprentice, and this is based off, of course, of the 1940 Fantasia short segment featuring Mickey Mouse as the Sorcerer's Apprentice, where, you know, you have all the moments where he's like playing around with the book and he makes the brooms come to life, which they do in this movie, which is a nice little homage. But in this case, we have the story here about Balthazar Blake, played by Nicolas Cage, who's one of Merlin's three apprentices, who trains a young college student named Dave, played by Jay Baruchel, coming off of his success of How to Train Your Dragon earlier in the year, to become a sorcerer after Blake's long search for the Prime Merlinian. They have to avoid another one of Merlin's apprentices who has turned evil, played by Alfred Molina, second time we've seen him in a Jerry Bruckheimer production this summer after Prince of Persia, who wants to find a Grimhold holding both the third apprentice, played by Monica Bellucci, and the evil sorceress, played by Alice Cree. The latter in which Horvath wants to unleash on present-day New York to raise the evil sorceress back from the dead and destroy all humanity. And I think the main problem with the movie from the get-go is the first 5 minutes, which feel really unnecessary since the scenes could have been added in different parts of the movie to move the story along better. But other than that, though, I didn't hate the movie. I thought it was actually kind of fun. Back then when I saw it, I thought it was kind of fun. And even when I watched it again recently for the video I did about the best Disney live-action remakes, ranking the best and worst ones, I didn't think it was that bad of a movie in general. In fact, I thought it was overall a good, fun summer movie in general. I thought Nicolas Cage was pretty good in this. He actually was having a nice comeback year with this and Kick-Ass. I thought Alfred Molina was pretty good as the villain in here. Jay Baruchel is fine here, but he does get annoying pretty fast. I mean, this is pretty much what everyone thought he was going to be like when he was in How to Train Your Dragon. I feel like putting this out just after How to Train Your Dragon kind of hurt in the long run for him. You got Teresa Palmer in here, Monica Bellucci. They're pretty good in here. Teresa Palmer's playing the love interest to Jay Baruchel's character. And I just realized she's also in She's Out of My League, too, which was another movie that was kind of not bad, but not great either. The only person I really thought was really annoying was Toby Kebbell as Drake Stone. And he's kind of like playing the apprentice to the villain of the movie, which, yeah, right away, he gets on your nerves so quickly, and it's just like, he gets annoying on the levels of Drop Dead Fred, Rick Mayall's character in that movie. I mean, that's how bad he really is. Some of the visuals can look pretty cool. The great visual effects in there, like including that bird that comes off of the Empire State Building that Cage rides on. And then there's some visuals that just kind of are not that great, like the dragon attack in Chinatown's pretty lame. And even that callback with the brooms and the dancing sequence there. A lot of people really hated that scene, but I never really minded it. Back then, I was just kind of like, I thought it was pretty good. And even now, it's just kind of like, it's not the best, but it's not the worst. It reminds me of the Pink Elephant's Pink Elephant's homage in Dumbo, Tim Burton's Dumbo, which most people kind of were okay with, but at the same time, a lot of people were just kind of like, this is really lame. But for what it was, I thought it worked overall. And it's just a mixed bag of a movie. It's a fun film. It kind of reminded me of a much better Percy Jackson and the Olympians, but overall, it's an okay movie. Nicolas Cage, I thought, was pretty good, and the visuals were kind of a mixed bag, as was Jay Baruchel, but It's not a great movie, but it's not a bad movie either. Mixed opinion, but more leaning towards a positive than a negative, so take that for what you will. So that is The Sorcerer's Apprentice. And so with all that said, we wrap up another edition of Time About the Movies, and the next time we meet, I almost gave you the week after the next week, but we have two movies to take a look at here. Angelina Jolie is starring in the action thriller Salt, which I remember not liking back then. It's been 15 years since I've seen it, so have my thoughts changed on it since then? Well, you're going to have to tune in tomorrow to find that out. And we also have Selena Gomez starring in Ramona and Beast as her first leading role in the movie. So we'll take a look at both of those movies coming up tomorrow on the show. So definitely be on the lookout for that. But with all that said, thank you so much for watching this. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead and hit that like button, the subscribe button, and the notification button. And also don't forget to hit our playlist and check out the previous episode we did. And we post new videos here every day, so be on the lookout for those every day here on this channel. But with all that said, whether it's in the past, the present, or the future, I will see you at the movies. Take care.